Quilts and Coffee from So Many Quilts in So Little Time. I am so glad that you're tuning into this channel, whether it's during the live presentation or whether it is on the replay. I appreciate you spending time on my channel. I do apologize for not having additional content at this time. I'm still trying to work on that. I'm not going to promise anything at this point, but I am trying to work on that. Got a lot of personal things going on, and so it's kind of a hard balance right now. I want to bring something, and I do have to say that having to do or wanting to do this live presentation on Saturdays is getting me back into sewing and doing things, and it's keeping me in the sewing room at least for 2 or 3 or 4 hours a week that I probably would have skipped if I wasn't doing this channel. And I'm sorry, I have something in my eye. But like I've said before, I appreciate all the likes, comments, subscribes and shares that everybody does. I appreciate that you spend time here. I know there's other channels that you could be spending your time with and learning something, but I'm so glad that you check in here. So while I'm still waiting for, everybody to kind of get going this morning, I've already had my coffee. I've had 2 cups this morning, so I'm ready. And so I'm going to go ahead, and I hadn't opened up a bundle of fabric of fat quarters that I had had for a while. So I'm going to show those while I'm kind of waiting for everybody to come on. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it because I don't want to bore you, but I had already broke these down into the colors, the darks, the mediums, and the lights, and just been trying to look for some patterns to do. And actually the quilt that I made last night is one that would be good for fat quarters. So let me show you these are so pretty. This is, that real pretty, prairie calico look. It's very pretty. So there's that dark green, and then this is a brown with rust flowers, and then I have a brown with beige, dark beige flowers, and then there's a real rich navy with a lighter blue, and then there's a little bit lighter navy with some cream, and then there's brown and black, another brown and black, another brown and black, a cream and black. This is a very pretty line. I forgot what it was, and I know I opened it up. But this has a good variety of 8 lights. Some of them kind of get to mediums, and then 8 mediums that are kind of medium darks, and then 8 darks. So this would make a great variety. And I know that when you get ready to pick out fat quarters, it's best to get a variety of fabrics. I know sometimes, and I have a set that I have stored up, and it's mainly blues. But then unless you have a plan and a purpose for some background fabric, then you don't have as much variety in your set. So when you're picking out fat quarters, depends on what you want to do. You might want to go ahead and get something that has a variety, and that way you can have a scrappy look. So I've got just a few more. These are kind of the mediums. This is what, in this pack, this was the mediums, but this might be the darks and some others. But that's a real pretty fabric line. I think it was Homestead. I had gotten it on sale. I've had it for probably 3 years. So, and, my channel, I try to make it where we're using what we have. And so last night at 8 p.m., I got to sewing. And the only thing I had cut was some 5-inch strips of fabric that I already had laid in a clear shoebox. And I started picking out, I picked out 12 different strips. And I had taken the strips like this and opened them up just one time. It's still folded in half. I cut off the selvage and cut off a 10-inch block. So these are 5-inch by 10-inch when you get that cut. Then what I had left, I opened it up and I matched it with some other fabric that I had pulled out, and I sewed sets of 2 strips together. Once I got those sets sewn together, then I cut those into 5 inches. So that makes it to where you had a 2 5-inch blocks sewn together. And you do this and it goes very quickly. I spent about 2.25 hours, and I have a decent sized little quilt made. And you can go through that very easily. I even had problems with my sewing machine. My bobbin was jamming, and then I had to replace the bobbin, rethread everything, and then I've got a little tight sewing area over here, so it messed up something else. So it was like my thread was getting hung up on the cord to the iron, and so I had a few minutes that I had some dysfunction going on, but because I had all of this already cut, I could get right to work. And and all you need is a 5-inch strip. You might have some yardage that or some scrap that's just 5 inches, or you've bought a scrap bag and you've got a 5-inch strip. You can cut those up into strips, and then you have something ready that you can make a decent sized quilt top in very little time. So let me show you what I did. And if you see the community tab or you see the short, you're going to see the fabrics before I cut them up. There's a few of them that I don't have any more of. This is using them up. But this is what you get. You'll have that 5x10, and then you'll have these 2 5-inch squares. And you will have cut all of these after you have sewn your strips together. So you're going to be going through this very quickly. So once you make this is your block, and you're going to turn it in opposite directions. And then you're going to keep adding and adding and adding. And then I wasn't paying attention. On the next row, you need to come down one and have it to where this is on the other side. I was needing to get this finished for that. If I had been paying attention, it would not have took very long. I'm going to stand up and show this. This is what I made in about 2.25 hours last night, because I already had my fabric cut. Let me move my chair just a little bit. It's getting so. After you add an inner border and an outer border, you've got something ready. And how many times do we need to get a quilt ready quickly? And this is just fabric that some of it I've had for a long time. Some of it I bought last summer. Some of it I didn't know what to do with. Some of it I didn't think matched anything else. And I'm just using up what I've got. And like I said before, if I had paid attention, this center seam, it would have been staggered. But it was really late. I was really tired, and I needed to get this done for the presentation today. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you. Yes, very quick. It is very quick. And so, and in case you missed it, that's just 12 5-inch strips with the fabric. And the way you cut it, you can just go back, and I gave better details about how to do it and do it quickly, and go through chain piecing. So that I did last night. And this channel is stretching me a little bit, especially with personal things that are going on, but everything's good. And I do have to say, I'm feeling a lot better. I am so glad I'm feeling better. But back to sewing stuff. Sorry. So the next thing I'm going to kind of talk about, I kind of do a quilt review, kind of tell you something about that. And then I kind of give you a little tip and trick about, something you might need to know about your sewing, some little gadget or something. So I'm going to go over how I store my unfinished projects or unfinished objects. They do that so that they can call them UFOs. And so what I do is if I have something I'm going to work on fairly quickly, I have one of these open bins. Now, if this sits here for a while, I end up putting it in something else because I want it to be protected. So everything that I have already started is in here. And then all of my cuts or other fabric that I'm going to use is in here. And my little project's right there together when I'm ready to work on it. Let me put this over here. Then I use clear shoe boxes, and I put my projects in here that I've got started. Isn't that pretty? And here's the rest of the pieces and coordinating fabric. Everything for the project is in the box and it's stored away. This is one of those things that, I'm not going to work on it right now, but I've got it protected for whenever it's ready. It's not going to get a lot of dust and stuff on it. It's put up. And let me get this one out where I had the strips. And then just sometimes you order fabric and you get plastic bags, zipper bags that are a different size. Like this is a fat quarter. This is the fat quarters that is mainly blue. It does have some lights and some mediums in it. But, just plastic bags that have zippers on it that you get from other purchases. Sometimes they fit perfectly for the fabric that you've got. And here is something. Okay, I think this was a little pillowcase. No, this was a throw. This was a throw. A bag came in it, and it's got the zipper at the top. I have everything for this project in here. And now I can put it on the shelf, and I know two things going on. It's covered from the dust, and it's going to be together when I get ready for it. And I can turn this one any which way, and it's still going to be there. And then, like, here's an example. Here's leftovers. You can't see that for that big label on there. But here's leftovers from that log cabin quilt that I showed you that I made. That's made with all the batiks. There's the leftovers where if I wanted to make another one, and I have everything together. I have my black squares together, and I have all of my fabric together to make another one. And then here's another thing I've got coordinated together and packed up. So, just Ziploc bags and blocks that you've got made. Like if you're working on one of those little blocks that's the little houses and you got some of them done, you can put them in a sandwich size Ziploc bag and put them up. Different things. But there's lots of ways to store things without having to have a lot of money involved in how you store things. And I just wanted to share that and, show everybody that quick quilt. I hope everybody has had a really great week. I hope you have plans for this week. We've gotten into spring. Believe it or not, this year's already going really quickly. And yes, we end up doing a lot of same. Got a comment there that said that I store the same way that they do. And we've learned to be creative with what we have. And when we do that, then we're going to have what we want to work on when we get ready to work on it. So, and then, I have organizers, plastic organizers that are the drawers, and I put different things in those. And so everything can be in one place. And it's really nice because my sewing room looks kind of junky right now, and I need to take a little detox time and straighten it up to where I can find things. And sometimes we really have to do that too, so that we can find what we want to work on when we're ready to work on it. And I just hope everybody's had a great week and have great things in store for yourself for this week. And I am so glad that you are watching my channel and taking time to be here. I know there's other channels you could be doing and watching, and other things you could be doing today. Um, that's all I had for today. It's kind of a little short, sweet one, but it's springtime. Let's get out there and enjoy. Hopefully, you've got good weather, but enjoy the spring. And so, I am planning on having another Quilts and Coffee next week, and I may not know what I'm going to do until about Friday night. So stay tuned for the community tab, the community updates, and I'll send out something. And I appreciate you spending time here today. Have a great week. Bye.